It's your girl Ginger Fox here, and I am going to be reading some true supernatural stories on my Scary Stories app that I re-download. Let's get into it. The fatal accident. This morning I passed by the scene of a traffic accident on the way to work. It must have just happened a few minutes before, and smoke was rising from the front of the car where it had crashed into the wall. The car was in terrible condition. The person who was driving must have been going very fast because when it hit the wall, it crumbled up like a crushed tin can. Jesus. I heard a voice, and through the smoke, I can make out a woman's face, squished between the shattered windshield and the steering wheel. She had some minor cuts and bruises, but other than that, she looked uninjured. I ran over to her and asked if she was okay. She opened her eyes and just kept moaning softly. Ow, ow, it hurts so much. Help. I was relieved to see that she was conscious at least. Just then the police arrived, and after telling them to call an ambulance for the woman, I went to work. Later that day, during my lunch break, I told one of the colleagues about the accident. She turned on the TV to see if there was anything on the news. The reporter was saying today there was a fatal accident in the city center when a speeding car went out of control and crashed into a brick wall. The woman who was driving the car was decapitated and killed on impact. Dude. Oh my god, what the... The Easter Bunny. A little girl stood in the doorway to her mother's room and rubbed her eyes. Mom, she said, the Easter Bunny is in my bedroom and he's eating candy. Don't be silly, her mother replied. The Easter Bunny gives candy to children. She doesn't eat candy. Go back to sleep. I can't go to sleep, the girl said. The Easter Bunny's eating candy. She sounded as if she was about to cry. Her mother sat up in bed and said, just go back to sleep, please. It's not even Easter yet. The child sighed. Okay, Mom, she said. She turned and walked away. At least listen to your child, bro. Bro. When the little girl got back to her bedroom, she found the Easter Bunny sitting on her bed, still eating candy. Mommy just said I should go back to bed, she said as she fingered a shiny metal dog collar that read candy. No! Oh, what? Dude, that got me, bro. Bruh. The refrigerator. One night while I was staying at a friend's house, I had a terrible dream in which I was confined in a small, narrow place. I was in complete darkness and couldn't see a thing. The space was so cramped that I couldn't even move my arms and legs. The strangest thing was that I was aware I was in a dream. I kept pinching myself and hoping that I would wake up. It seemed like the oxygen was slowly being used up and I was gasping for air. I began to panic and started screaming and hitting the walls with my shoulders. Just when I felt I was on the verge of death, I awoke in a cold sweat. Oof. Trying to calm myself down, I got out of bed and went to the bathroom. As I was walking down the hallway, I noticed a strange noise coming from my kitchen. The sound was very faint, but it seemed to be coming from the refrigerator. It was very muffled, but it sounded like someone was crying out for help. I switched on the kitchen light and was horrified to see the refrigerator rattling and shaking. I stood there in shock, staring at the refrigerator, and a few moments later, the sounds finally ceased. I was too frightened to open the refrigerator, and instead I went back to bed. The next morning, when I was talking to my friend, I told him what had happened. He gave me a strange look and said that other people who had stayed in that room had experienced the same thing. Even now, there are times when I wonder what I would have found that night if I had been brave enough to open the refrigerator. I don't even want to know what was in that refrigerator. I'm going to stop the chat here. The story's here, I could say. Thank you all for listening. I love you all. Bye-bye.